What we wanna do is we wanna narrow down what we're best at, because no one else is doing this. Your competitors are gonna take anything that comes to them. Very rarely will you find a business owner with this level of discipline, but the reason we're doing this is because what we wanna do is create really good marketing around what our core offer is. We wanna align with being a specialist, which is where the
Hmm.
industry is heading. Because what you're
Hmm.
finding in this industry is now people are becoming cabinet refinishing specialists, they're becoming epoxy coating specialists. And this is called the market segmentation theory. And really, what
Hmm.
this means is that the market is going to elect to work with a specialist over a generalist because of the perceived value. What's up, world? I'm here with Alan. We're here for a business breakthrough, man. Let me have it. Tell me what the story is. Just starting out.
Yeah, so real quick, about 20 years worth of construction, real estate investing, and software. I sales involved all in that. Did
How'd you
real
land into a painting business?
This is interesting. So basically, sometime last year, actually, let's go a little bit further back. So I'd been director of operations for a real estate investing company. We were doing about 130 flips a year. I got that because I had been vice president of customer success for this big real estate CRM. Got connected to these guys. Wound up wanting to do something local. That was all virtual. I was in Virginia. Actually, no, at that point, I was here in Northeast Tennessee, and that was in Memphis. Got connected to some guys local that were like, "Hey, let's do this here." And I was like, "Okay, it's a big deal to me to make an impact in my own backyard." Um, and so started flipping houses with them. We were doing great. We were doing about 15 at a time. Some stuff kind of happened. I am by nature a very trusting person and did not protect myself or my family. We wound up losing everything. Lost our
Really?
house. Yeah.
Wow.
Lost our house. If it was not for the good graces of our church community that actually lives out, what the Book of Acts teaches, we would have been on our butts. I had a mental breakdown basically because I felt like I had failed my family and the world. And for about 6 months or so, didn't really have anything coming in. Started back consulting with a buddy who had a remodeling company, and just kind of helping him, almost like fractional COO stuff. And and after a while, he's like, "Dude, why don't you just like start doing some stuff back in Tennessee?" And so I did. It was going okay. Wound up getting a position back doing CX stuff for a software company, which made my wife happy because she's like, "Hey, we've got money coming in constantly." And I'm like, "Cool, I get this. I know this is a big deal for her." And so I was like, "All right, while I'm doing this, maybe maybe let's do this paint thing." Because I've been watching some of your videos. I'd seen the Painting Business Pro stuff, all those other guys. Honestly, what I liked about your stuff is that there's a kingdom thing that's there, not just a. And so anyway, yeah. So went out, did a little bit of door to door stuff. My 22-year-old daughter, she went out and was going door to
Wow.
door. Got a few estimates. Didn't book any jobs, but it's like, okay, cool. We'll get this thing really going here in the new year. And then a week ago, right now, I got laid off from that software company. Revenue just was not where it needed to be. And since I was the newest hire, and it wasn't just me, there was a few others that got let go. And so it's like, all right, got a nice severance package and everything from these guys. It's like, well, I think it's time to hit this thing. I've prayed about it. And it's just like I feel like this is where we can, start bringing
Wow.
some cash back in to get things rolling. So got an
How
operator
exciting.
background, but yeah. So it's been random. There's a lot of, I know that's a lot of stuff to dump on you. There's so much that's in there, but yeah, just here because I think honestly what it is, it looks like what I really like about this business, at least from afar, the cash producing aspect of it seems really nice. Honestly, what I excel at is systems and getting things going. And I'm like, cool, if I can get this thing moving, I feel like I can get us not necessarily back to where we were. That's whatever, but at least we can be fully taken care of. And then what I like specifically again about the stuff that I've watched from you, I want to I don't really love the sub model. I've done that in the remodeling world and stuff. I want to be able to have people that I can impact far more than just the sub model. I want to be able to take care of people really well. My buddy that has that remodeling company, I mean, they do last year they did 7 weeks of paid sabbatical for his company. And
Wow.
they netted close to 20%, like 1.6. So I
Wow.
mean, just like that's the kind of thing that I want to do. Like kingdom, basically.
King. I love
Yep.
that, man. Well, I'm honored that you, sought me out to help you, and I
Yeah.
love the journey. I think that that's enough of a reason to succeed because it's not gonna be easy. I don't think you want easy. Nobody wants easy. And I also like the idea behind, the fact that, you were forced out of your business and you have no choice, which is also, in my opinion, it's actually beneficial that way, and I think you might
Hmm.
agree with me there. So,
Yeah.
there's no turning back, and we need to figure out how to build a business. So, tell
Yes.
me, let's talk about what you've got set up. What systems do you have? Have you sold a job? Do you have anyone painting? What does the business look like right now?
Not yet. So this week, what I have done, and again, we were going with Legacy Paint Company before. I've switched it to Revival Paint Company.
Well, good time to change it right now,
I know,
so
right?
you're in
It's
good
a
state.
great time. I actually in the background right now while you and I are talking, Eplet is building the website to get that going, just so we can have that going. I know about drip jobs. As a matter of fact, I did a trial of drip jobs when I had those other jobs when I was doing the door to door stuff back in the late fall. And so that's what we'll wind up going into.
Well, we have a startup program that you qualify for, and it's 4 months free, so, just
Cool.
go to the website and we'll hook you up.
Thank you. So have that. I have an ad up right now currently for a painter for at least one lead guy. I'm not a good painter. This is my wife doesn't even allow me to paint our own house. She
Hey, you
never
don't need to be,
has.
man. What you need is the world needs more system operational focused painting business owners than we do painters.
Hmm.
And that's simply because the you guys are the ones who are gonna employ people that are really good at painters. So there's far more painters than there are operational, minded business owners. So you
Hmm.
put out an ad, you got an ad out, got the website.
Hmm.
What's your plan on generating leads? Because nothing happens unless you get some leads.
Sure. So basically, my goal is this week to have, which I hate doing the logo stuff first, but at the same time, I also want the bandit signs to look good. Going to order a couple hundred bandit signs, get those going, and then do a little bit of content. I've done Facebook ads for real estate stuff and got leads there. I think that makes the most sense where I'm at, and I'm going to be working on also building out at the same time the Google My Business, building that out so that maybe we can catch some stuff there. Also, I've already talked to a couple of realtors about this, but basically, I'm like, hey, if everything that I've seen on here, guys are basically budgeting about 10% of what comes in for marketing. Hey, if you give me a referral, I'll give you 10% of whatever that job winds up being.
Well, just be careful with that because they can't take kickbacks. It's I think, and just and they've historically, for me at least, have been terrible referral partners because they know that
Okay.
generally speaking, we're a higher end service. So
Mhm.
what they wind up finding, and this is just from I'm guessing, but you get a client, you just sold them a house, you know where their financial positions are. Like, I know a guy that can do this for $500 rather than here, go with premium painting for 5,000. You know what I mean? It's just be my I wouldn't put all the eggs in that basket. Okay, so I wanna give you some advice. I wanna help you quickly
Please.
because I think one of the things with anything is like, you know, think of a rocket, man. It's gotta be hard, it's gotta be fast, or we get caught up
Mhm.
in too many little details that don't matter, okay? It's like what we wanna do is create a repeatable,
Mhm.
duplicatable process when it comes to generating leads, and we want a repeatable, duplicatable process when it comes to fulfilling the promise of the sale. That's it.
Mhm.
Nothing matters. The name of the business is important. The logo, all that stuff, the website, it's great,
Yeah.
great. We just need to
Sure.
sell jobs. How many
Yes.
paint jobs have you sold in your life?
I have not sold any paint jobs. I have sold remodel jobs, and I've done a few
All
hundred
right,
real
so let me
estate
slow
deals.
down. We got and hopefully you know my style. I want to help you, and we got limited
Yes.
time. So if I cut you off, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
You're great.
Here's the deal. If you're starting a smoothie shop, what do you need?
If I'm starting a smoothie shop, I'm going to need the thing to make the smoothies, and I'm going to need people there to buy the
Do you
smoothies.
sell steak at your smoothie shop?
Absolutely not.
What do you sell?
Smoothies.
Do you make anything?
Do I make anything?
Yeah. At your smoothie
No,
shop, will you make me any
just
type of smoothie?
smoothies.
What type of smoothies?
Probably I'm just gonna sell you like 3 smoothies, maybe
So there
maybe
you
1 or
go, free
2.
smoothie,
Yeah.
and what's in those smoothies?
Chocolate, I don't some basic fruit, some yogurt, stuff like that, yeah.
Even more specific, right? So you might have, cacao nips, you might have pineapple, and you might have coconut milk. That's one.
Uh-huh,
So in other words, like when we start a business, it should be the same thing. So we need to understand what your core offer is.
uh-huh,
Because if you don't establish that now, then you're not going to be ready when it comes to game time. What winds up happening is if we don't establish that, then we take anything and then we get deviated far off the course. So what is your core offer as a painting business?
As of right now, what I wanna focus on is interior. We're gonna obviously, have exterior stuff possibly popping up here, but honestly, in this market, interior
So what I
seems to be
want
far
so
more
I
there.
wanna hear is more specific. I wanna hear
Mhm,
interior, residential, a little bit
mhm,
higher end. Our best
mhm,
customer is gonna be a 1,500 to 3,000 square foot home,
mhm,
lived in, and inside the interior, we're only going to do ceiling, walls, trim, doors, and closets.
mhm. So basically just laying out our ideal customer and
Well, ideal.
focusing after that.
You're building your menu, and that has to be established early on. Because
Mhm,
what winds up happening is inside the interior, all sorts of things can fall on your plate. It could be drywall repair, it could be popcorn removal, it could be
yeah,
wallpaper removal. These things are could be detriments to your growth,
got you.
right?
Yeah,
So what we need to do is we need to you talked about kingdom, we gotta have our
mhm,
provisions around what it
mhm,
is that we do to protect us from,
mhm.
you know, things that might taste good, but at the end of the day might be bitter.
No, this makes perfect sense. To the last remodel job that I did, I had a guy come in that was part of what he was doing, and I was using him because I was like, well, if we get this paint thing really rolling, maybe I'll use this guy. And he came in and he was supposed to skim coat basically the whole house that had texture, and then come in and paint. And long story short, basically wound up having to fire that guy halfway through. It was just really horrible work. Had to pay somebody else more than what I was going to pay him to come in and just repair the drywall and then get the paint done. So yes, I hadn't said that, but honestly, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't want to touch drywall
Yeah,
anymore
don't
just because
you
of
know,
that.
what we wanna do is we wanna narrow down what we're best at because no one else is doing this. Your competitors are gonna take anything that comes to them. Very rarely will you find a business owner with this level of discipline, but the reason we're doing this is because what we wanna do is create really good marketing around what our core offer is. We wanna align with being a specialist, which is where the
Hmm.
industry is heading. Because what
Hmm.
you're finding in this industry is now people are becoming cabinet refinishing specialists, they're becoming epoxy coating specialists. And this is called the market segmentation theory. And really, what
Hmm.
this means is that the market is going to elect to work with a specialist over a generalist because of the perceived value. It's
Hmm.
just like when you go to the store and or you go to a restaurant and you're looking for a steak, you're going to go to a steakhouse because you're assuming that they specialize in this, so it's going to be better than ordering it at Denny's, right?
Hmm.
So this needs to be the core offer. So if you're going to be a residential repaint specialist, that means we don't take new construction and we don't take commercial jobs because each of those require a different a different process, a different sales process, different pricing. Can you do them later? Sure, but there's enough right now for you to just do interior repaints, right? That's it. Okay. So along with that, we need to identify if you create your menu, that's great, but you need to identify your pricing. Have you thought about pricing?
Yes. So the jobs that I was bidding a few months ago, I was doing it around $70 an hour using production rates. I was going in, measuring everything, and using the drift job stuff. So I had it at $70 an hour on there. Those guys didn't seem to like that price, but
Okay.
at the same time, it was
So
also not the ideal customer.
too early to do production rates. I
Okay,
wouldn't even
cool,
worry about production rates at all.
great.
Okay. So you got a pen and paper. What I want you to write down is write ceiling
Uh-huh,
and then put a dash
uh-huh,
and you're going to put $1 a square foot. Then you're going to go walls. You're going to put a dash and you're going to put $2 a square foot. You're going to put doors, 50 to $100 per door, depending on how big they are. Trim, you're going to put 50 cents to a dollar a square foot, depending on how big it is or if there's crown or
Mhm.
whatever. And closets, 75 to $100 each. There's your menu, there's your pricing.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Don't overthink pricing. It doesn't matter. The only time it matters is when you realize you're losing money and you can only audit that when you do job costing. So now we've identified our menu, we've identified our pricing. Those are two things that are so important, okay, for business. Now, you might get
Question
in.
for
Yeah,
you.
sure.
So, like, for example, your walls, your square foot, are we going off of floor square footage or actually wall square footage?
Floor square footage.
Okay. And then and I'm assuming that's 2 coats and primers at just 2 coats.
2 coats.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to manipulate that number to identify, but you wanna work backwards. So you use that number as a guide, and then the next thing you do is you identify what your cost is to produce the job.
Mhm.
Now, you have a remodeling background, so obviously you're pretty well versed in job costing. But the idea here is to identify if I have 1 painter, number 1, how much do I need to pay him per hour?
Mhm.
Okay. So if you have 1 painter and you expect him to paint a whole house, how much do you think he's going to want per hour to do that work?
The ad that I've got right now is 25 to 35 an hour.
25 to 35. Okay, so let's kind of model this out. If it's a 1,500 square foot house and he needs to do ceiling, walls, trim, and doors and closets, top to bottom, 2 coats on the ceiling, 2 coats on the walls. He needs to spray the doors. How long is it going to take one person to do that job in in your mind? How long do you think it'll take him?
I would say a little less than a week.
Okay, so I have a team of 3, and if I
Mhm.
were to put them on the job, okay, we're looking at 3 to 4 days
Okay.
to the highest possible standard. 3 would be for a 1,500 square foot house, and that's high. That's a lived-in home. So
Mhm.
your estimation is you're pretty much saying that it's only gonna take one person 2 more days to get done what my team of 3 is getting done in 3 days. So I'm gonna just say, because I have the experience, that you're
Mhm.
off by 3 days. I think it's gonna take your guy 8 working days, and on
Mhm.
that 8th working day, he's gonna be burnt out. Would you agree with that?
Probably. So what would you say, like, an average of, like, between 100 and 150 square feet a day finished?
I don't base it off of that. I think because it's just too hard to do because we have things that aren't calculated by square footage anyway, which are doors
Okay.
and things like that. I think what we need to identify is how much work can one person get done in one day,
Mhm.
and how good are they at organizing themselves, and how good are they at planning. And I don't think one person is a good, efficient product
No,
to give a customer.
yeah, that's not honestly, that's not the goal. So my thought had been, okay, if I can get one guy that's really good, if I can either bring somebody to help him, somebody that's lesser, if I had to go in there and help as
And
well.
yep, that's
Yeah,
the right
that's
play.
yeah.
So,
So
but
that's
here's the
that's
thing. Here's the thing though, but what we need to do is we need to have enough confidence to bring in these individuals.
mhm,
Because right now you have no work, right? So there's this magical moment that has to happen where you have the work and you have the workers.
yes.
So it's you can't generalize your needs here, because if you do that, then you can't hit the goal. You can't just say, "Well, I think I'm gonna do this and I think I'm gonna do that." It's like, "No, this process has already been done by hundreds of thousands of people. So I'm just
Mhm,
gonna give you the roadmap." You need to hire 2 people before your first job starts. And we need to identify next what the attributes of those 2 people are.
okay.
So what do you think the attribute of the crew leader is gonna be? Like, give me his top 3 attribute core traits. When you interview him, you'll know exactly who it is.
Top 3 attributes. So obviously he has to have the patience to be able to teach.
Patience. He's a team player, so
Yeah.
patient, he can teach. Go ahead.
He's going to need to be consistent in obviously in his showing up on time, in the quality of his work, yeah, so we'll go with that, and then accountable.
Okay. So there's 3 things there. Number 1, you said patient, and he
Mhm,
has to be a teacher or a coach.
mhm,
Number 2, he needs to be on time, he needs to be prompt, and number 3, he needs to be able to be held accountable.
mhm,
So when we interview someone, don't you think through our interview questions for this crew lead position, we can extract those characteristics through
absolutely,
our questions? So the first one's
absolutely,
gonna. Right, 100%. So these are things you should be building out. You should be putting it into AI and saying, "Hey, I need these traits. What questions should I ask this painter to make sure that the person that I get aligns best with
mhm,
these traits?" I'll tell you the promptness one is simply if they answer the phone during the exact time that you say you want the phone interview, and if they show up 5, 10 minutes early to the in-person interview and they're waiting there, that's the easiest one. The accountability one, generally speaking, you're gonna ask, "When was the last time you made a mistake, and how did you fix it?" And if they blame someone else in the answer, they're not your person. And then the coaching and teaching one, "How do you like working with a team?"
Yeah. One of the other things I always like to ask people as well is, can you tell me about somebody that's over the age of 18 that you have a personal relationship with? Tell me about them. What do you like about them? What about them makes you aspire to be like them? And in doing so, I'm trying to get them to identify the core traits of that person that they are trying to be like as well. So that's another
I
one.
like that question, it's
Yeah,
really good.
yeah.
But again, all this comes with being specific with what
Hmm.
your outcomes need to be in order to get the result that you want, because if you go into this generalizing, what it is that you need in this role and how
Hmm.
it's gonna go, you're gonna get random results, and we need results that come from a good input, okay? And then the next role is your helper. So you wanna put together a team of 2. Now before we
Hmm.
go into that, we talked a little bit about what you would be willing to pay this individual, and he has
Hmm.
to have painting experience. He has to be someone
Yes.
that's painted, right? Because that's an area of weakness for you. So 25 to $35 an hour, and now you have a helper. What are the attributes of the helper, and why don't we do the same thing with that person?
I mean, I think some of them definitely well, I think all of them roll over. I mean, the teachability, being able to be taught and not push back, the consistency and the accountability. I think one of the biggest things is being able to represent the team well. Yeah, honestly, man, I think that those traits that I talked about before basically go for that same person, just instead of being able to teach,
Okay?
to be taught, but they still need to be accountable. They
So
still
the
need to
only
be
difference
consistent.
is experience, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and it'd be beneficial to get someone with little to some experience, but
Hmm.
hey, you might be able to find someone that, really just meshes well. So, and I think one of the things you want to do is look for character alignment on the 2. So we've outlined that. So we've outlined what it is that we do. Our core offer is
Hmm.
interior painting, house painting, ceiling walls, trim doors. We've created our menu and we've outlined our pricing. We've identified who we need for production. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, how do you marry the 2? Right now you have no work and
Hmm.
you have no painters. You have a vision and a dream.
Hmm.
Okay. Faith has a lot to do with this. If you truly believe that you're called to serve, then you're gonna tap into the big source, and you know what I'm talking about. But that only happens with boldness.
Hmm.
So the boldness is, I'm gonna give you the exact play. You're gonna sign up for Angie Leads. It's the quickest way to get leads right now, qualified leads that align with what it is that you want to do. So when you set it up, you're just gonna set it up that you want interior painting estimates, whole house. Right, you want the home runs, and you're gonna start doing these estimates, and you're gonna try to sell one while at the same time launching today, having the ads out for the applicants, and you're gonna time it, and you're gonna push your job that you sell out a week and a half, 2 weeks to give you some time, and then you're gonna do your interviewing and line up the job with the painters.
So my intention, tell me if this is dumb or not. My intention was okay. So I'm going to sell stuff right now. Obviously, however the leads were going to come in, which Angie's great. Thumbtack also okay, or just
I just
Angie's?
think Angie's more
Okay,
reliable. Thumbtack's fine too, but I'm just saying what's good about Angie is you can connect it right to drip jobs. They could do the
okay,
follow-ups. You know what I'm
cool.
saying? But it's just
Okay,
easier to get going. Yep.
okay, that makes sense. So what my plan was, which again, this could be stupid, was to basically we're going to book jobs and we're going to try to push jobs out towards the end of February. That way, I could try to stack multiple jobs, and then that way, as I'm interviewing these people, it's not just, hey, I've got one job for you to do, which obviously this is
Okay,
not
so
something I go into.
that's a good thought, and it's a logical thought, but here's the thing, you're gonna lose people. They don't wanna wait that long. You're talking about 6 weeks,
Hmm.
okay? What if you get someone that needs it done? So just
Yeah.
and your painters don't need to know how much work you
Hmm.
have. Say you guarantee a minimum of 30 hours a week, and you're gonna start, let's say you did this today and you had the interview, you're gonna
Hmm.
start 1st week of February. And then you know in your heart that you made a promise to someone. Let me tell you something, man, you'll find a job,
I know.
even if it's your own house. Like, "Hey, man, I got a home for you." "Hey, is that your picture on?" "Yeah, don't worry about it."
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Yeah. I just like I said, I just wanted to make sure that I had work stacked up that way
Dude, we're all
I
and
could get it going.
I always tell people this. Me and you are in the same boat. I
Mhm,
don't have endless work. I have a
mhm,
time there's a date where there's nothing more
mhm,
after that date, and that is how everyone operates. Once you're in the game, the playing field is equal. We all have access to the same resources. Facebook, Facebook group,
mhm,
BNI group if you want. Once you start building your momentum, but there's this one time period. Again, there's no safety net for you right now. You don't have a job.
mhm,
You have a business with no income.
mhm,
You have to push your chips to the center of the table and say, "This is it," and go
mhm,
all in. And when you get those leads, you call them relentlessly, you
mhm.
win them with your heart,
Yeah.
and you sell the job, and then you find that right person to do the work, and then
Are
you
you
paint.
okay? So are you? I've heard you talk about this and some different things. Obviously, going there, being belly to belly, we're going to close more and stuff like that. Are you doing since it's a square footage thing? Are you doing stuff like virtually with your estimates, or what are you doing there?
So let's walk through what your first estimate's gonna look like. Let's start
Hmm.
there, okay? Knock on my door, I'll be your customer. "Hey, how are you?"
Hey Tanner, this is Alan. I'm here on the job, right?
You're hearing an
Right.
estimate.
Thank you. All right, cool. Hey Tanner, this is Alan with Revival Paint Company. How are you doing?
"Hey, I'm good."
Awesome. Well, I'm here to do the estimate. Is it okay if I come in? And I actually, by the way,
"Well,
I would have already kind of been walking
sure.
in.
Yeah, yeah, come on in. Come take a look."
Cool. Awesome. Thanks. So what space you told me on the phone we are going to basically be doing the whole house. Is that right?
Yeah, we're doing the whole house.
Okay, cool. Well, basically, what I'm going to do, I've got my tape here. This little digital tape thing. It's got a laser on it. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to measure all this stuff, the different walls and things like that. And I'm going to get you a price, and we'll be able to um, we'll be able to get you an estimate price here by the end of the day. Now, I'll say this. I know as I'm going through this, there's things I'm skipping over. I would have already identified on the phone call, what are we doing this for? I would have already figured. I would at least have asked on the phone call, why are we painting? Like trying to identify,
Right.
is this for we're trying to get
Well,
this
it's
done
still
by a specific
concerning
date?
because it's still valuable to resurface that emotion.
Sure, sure. I would talk to that.
Yeah, I
I've
know I'm
always
putting
been
you
the
on the spot.
no, you're great. You're great. I have always sucked at role plays, but that's
No,
okay.
it's good.
But yeah, so like I would bring up because I would know that, hey, we're trying to get this done because we're gonna sell the house in a few months, or we just moved in,
Alright,
or
so
whatever
so
that reason.
let's say that's the case, Alan, and I'm gonna
Okay.
say said, "Hey, why are you getting done?" "Yeah, we're gonna be selling it
Okay. Well, how quickly are you looking to sell?
as soon as you paint it."
Cool. Excellent. All right. Well, that's so your time. What's the timeline that you said as quick as we paint it? So you need to get this done in the next couple of weeks, the next
Well,
month.
the sooner you paint it, the sooner I can sell it, Alan.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what we can do is if we can agree to the price today, we can get you guys going here in the next couple of weeks. We can make something happen to make sure that it works for your timeline.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Great.
How do you feel about that?
That's fine.
You
I'm
think
so much better with real people.
it's alright, but no, but here's the thing, it needs to be automatic. It just needs to be it's something that needs to be practice and practice and practice because
Yes.
there's only a finite amount of reasons why people actually do
Mhm.
projects. So, let me try with you and you'd help I'll help you, highlight the difference.
Cool.
Tell me you're moving.
Hey Tanner, I'm moving and I need my
Oh,
house painted.
fantastic. Well, here's the good news. I'm not going to sell you the top of the line paint.
That's great.
You don't need it. And what's
No, I
awesome
don't.
about our process is we actually, and this is something that I would appreciate, and I'm sure you will too, is that we actually prioritize customers that are moving.
Hmm.
And I have an opening on the 1st of February. Does that date work for you?
Oh man, that'd be awesome. Is there any
Awesome.
way we could get it done sooner?
That's my earliest availability, but there's still things we need to do ahead of time. I got to get the colors figured out. And I noticed, maybe there's some drywall because we do a little
Hmm.
repair. I don't know. So there'd have to be something that I could use there. But those two things that I just mentioned,
Hmm.
again, we want to be specific on the date. If it's someone that cares, when you said a few weeks, I know. And again, these are things that we're obviously, we're just role playing. But
Hmm.
generally speaking, one of the things is I'm not going to sell you the highest quality paint. That's a really good one to use. And I noticed, in this case, you're still moving some things out. Should we expect an empty home? Should I give you an empty home discount? Like little things
Mhm.
like that add up and, oh, empty home discount. Oh, this, that. Okay, great. And one thing that we do that most companies won't do is after we paint, we're going to send our cleaning company to come
Mhm.
and do a deep clean to the house. So there's ways to just think of ways to add value to that customer. I love that you're asking why. Bring it up. It's no longer about the job. And the first thing, we're not lasering anymore. That's a
Mhm.
waste of time. Spend time with the customer. You can say, I'm going to take pictures. I love pictures. Going
Mhm.
around taking pictures. We put it in company cam. That goes into the proposal.
Mhm.
It looks really nice. Things like that.
Question for you. So, one, the cleaning thing is something I already thought about because my daughter actually has a cleaning company as well. She does that too.
There you go. You're
The
set.
other thing is I have a good friend. She is an interior designer who I have talked to. I basically told her, "Hey, would you be willing to come do color consults for some of these folks that are going to be in these nicer
Love that.
houses? I'll give you." Okay, cool. So I was like, "Is that as a way
That's
to
great, man.
sell folks? Just say, hey, we've got a color consult that'll come in and take care of this for you." So excellent. All right. So it's not
Yeah.
a moron
Yeah,
idea.
absolutely.
Good.
Not a moron idea, man.
Nice.
Nothing's a moron idea. And you got to try it, man. If you in your heart think something's going to work, you see it in your head, you're like, hey, it might work.
Hmm.
Do it and see if it works. I don't know. That's how I do it. I don't know. But yeah, man, those are the action steps. And I know obviously we're coming up on time here, but I think, take take those steps. I'd get Angie going, get the ad out today. Have you ran an ad yet for painters?
Yeah, it's got actually the lead painter one's going. I've already got the helper up. It's just not running. I'll just as soon as I get off the coffee, I'll fire it up.
Right on. Yeah. So you got the lead painter ones, and
Hmm.
I would create a rule for yourself not to make a hire until you've done 10 in-person interviews. I would just make that your thing. I have to hit 10 before it doesn't matter if somebody is the Tom Brady of painting. You just
Hmm.
wanna make sure you get the right fit because going back after this is gonna be as hard as it'll ever be, dude, because you
Hmm.
don't have a basis to build off of. You're literally trying to find someone that you can build a company around. That requires diligence, okay?
Hmm. Sounds good.
Awesome. Was this helpful?
Yes, sir. I
Awesome.
appreciate
Thank you,
it.
man. I appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely.